Okay, this is your IA, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Your question was how to improve your IA. Okay, I've seen your IA, although not really in detail. Okay, right. Let's just go step by step. Let's begin from the cover page. Okay. Cover page. All right. Oh, there's no particular format given by the IB. Okay. Uh, Probably what I would suggest, can you please put everything at the center?
Okay.
And which one is your title? Are these all your title?
Yes.
Kevin versus, okay. Can you use a proper capital letter? I mean,
Okay, for all.
yep. Not for all, for the beginning of the word. Okay.
Yes.
B, R, and so on. Okay. Now, page number 1 begins here in the introduction. Right. So put page number here. You don't need page number in the cover page. Yeah. So page number 1 begin in the introduction. Okay. Now let's begin with the introduction. Right. When I look at your introduction, it is missing some parts. Okay, let me open my PowerPoint. Right. You can refer to this presentation, which should be available in the Manage Pack, yeah, or in the first IA instruction you given last semester. Okay, so in the introduction, you need to provide a background. So what I'm trying to say is you need to structure your introduction. Yeah, in the paragraph, you need to talk about your IA. I mean, give readers background of your IA. For example, okay, if you look at this example here, right, this is the work previous year, and this is the student's IA, which is about the modeling of statistical data in relation to COVID-19 and its assessment on healthcare. Okay, if you look at the first paragraph, yeah, the student provide, how can I say, an information that can help readers transition to your exploration. Yeah, because basically when you reader means students at JC level, yeah, more or less, yeah. So when your readers read your report, your IA report, you treat them as if they don't have any background to what you are doing. So you need to take down, you need to take them through, yeah, your IA, transition to your IA. Okay, such as in this case, the students talk about public healthcare system, hospitals, and so on, because it relates to COVID-19. How's that? Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
If you're unsure, just feel free. Yeah, let me know. If we look at your IA, you go directly to, I want to show how the amount of caffeine may affect a person's pulse rate, and so on and so forth. So I would recommend, again, since this is exploration, the students take the most of the decision making. So it's up to you, but I would suggest that in the first paragraph, you give background, yeah, about your IA, about the caffeine and also pulse rate, yeah. Okay. So after you give the background, then you can connect that background to your rationale why you choose the IA. Okay. Have you included your rationale?
Yes.
Okay, can you take me down to the rationale? Is it this one here?
Yes.
Okay, can you structure it? Yeah. So structure it so that it is easier to locate. Yeah. So put background and connect to the rationale. Yeah. Your rationale should be why you choose, or the reason why you choose this IA. Yeah. And then you include what you want to do. Yeah. Okay. So put what you want to do. There's no subheading that divide between your intro and your main content, because here the subheading is introduction, and then it goes on until, where's the next subheading? This is the next subheading, linear regression. So I would suggest that you put subheading before you go further into the use of mathematical process. Sorry, this is the next subheading, a 5-number summary. Okay, where do you actually want to end the introduction? Can you let me know?
Uh, before the results.
Here,
Yes.
I would like to prove how consuming higher amount caffeine. Okay, so please put the subheading. Yeah, and the subheading, make it less scientific report. I mean, you don't need to put data analysis, data collection. Don't use that kind of format. If this is an exploration, you are free to be creative, yeah, as long as it's relevant to your IA. I would like to prove how consuming higher amount of caffeine would lead to much higher difference of pulse rate. Is this your aim?
Yes.
Okay, clarify that. And having mentioned your aim, what is it that you want to produce out of your IA?
The correlation between the amount of coffee and pulse rate, and how an increasing in the amount of caffeine consumed may increase uh the pulse rate.
Is that all?
Yeah.
If only correlation, it will not be enough at the AA level or AASL level. Yeah. But looking at your work, I think what you're doing is mathematical modeling. And correlation is just part of the mathematical process that you use. But that's based on from what I seen. Yeah. So looking at your processes or the use of mathematics, it appears that you want to produce mathematical modeling. Okay, but I will let you decide. Yeah, but you have to state that, clarify that in your introduction. Okay, and if we look at the here, you have to include a brief explanation in your introduction, yeah, on how you plan uh, to achieve your aim, your IA aim. Okay. Is this your brief mathematical processes?
Yes.
Uh, in some part, it is brief. In some part, it is not. For example, after I've gathered all of the information, I will calculate the difference in pulse rate between before and after caffeine consumption. Data obtained for the variation of changes in pulse rate after the increasing amount of caffeine being consumed shows an upward trend. Oh, how do we know? Okay, you say the increasing amount of caffeine being consumed shows an upward trend. Okay, this statement is based on, okay, the amount of caffeine being consumed shows an upward trend. So what does this base on? What do you reckon? These two sentences here.
To the data or
Okay,
research.
which data? Is it this data?
On the research.
On the research. Okay. In the intro, or you mean all of this data?
Yes,
Okay,
both the data and the research.
right. The intro actually end here. So, well, you have seen the data, but your readers haven't seen it. So it is better that you only give a brief explanation, yeah, on how you plan to achieve your aim. Okay, let's take a look at the example. Okay. Oh, this one is an example, although not the best one. In order to achieve my aim, I will be conducting research through the internet to collect credible secondary data that will be relevant to this exploration. I will then process the data through technology ICT to look for the best way to model the relationship of new cases against new death in the respective months of April and so on. So it's basically brief in, plan, yeah, on how you plan to achieve your IA aim. Okay, let's take a look at another plan. This is also another example. Okay. Two paragraphs actually that the student put. As the data is not usually presented in the form of a database, I will be collecting the data on each club squad, on their corresponding ages, which are available on many sites. A number of these sites may be unreliable and so on and so forth. So what I'm trying to say is give a brief explanation, yeah? This part, the one that you just shown, okay, the data obtained from the variation of changes in pulse rate after the increasing amount of caffeine being consumed shows an upward trend. Now this is more toward analysis. You have the data and then you analyze. So please just put brief explanation, a paragraph containing your main plan. Okay, is that all right?
Yes.
You sure?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So you need to organize your introduction. Yeah. It would be nice if you can end your introduction with the usefulness of your IA to your reader. Okay. So you have a closing paragraph, yeah, that mentioned that the usefulness of your IA to the readers, and you might want to give a sentence that help bridge the reader to the next section. Yeah, the main content. Okay, so you have your background, which consists of the so you put background up here, which consists of the rationale, background that give more information that help readers transition to your IA, and in that first paragraph you may include your rationale as well if you want, and in the second paragraph you can talk about your aim, yeah, and what is it that you want to achieve out of your IA. And in the third paragraph, yeah, paragraph number 3, you give brief explanation, yeah, on your plan to achieve your IA aim. And in the fourth paragraph, don't forget to mention the usefulness of your IA and include just one sentence or perhaps 2 sentences to help transition, to help bridge the readers to the next section, which is the main content. So that's what we have to do. So that's about the IA. Now, these tables you created by yourself?
Yes.
Okay, that's fine. If it's possible, can you please give a label, yeah, to this table? Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Now let's move on to the main content. Yeah, just like mentioned here, main body paragraph. Yeah, please label it not so scientific report like. Okay. Right. The results are recorded in the. Okay. It is best to explain what you want to do at the beginning, yeah, because you mentioned this is a new subheading just now. So it is best after the subheading, you explain what is happening in this particular section. Yeah, so don't go straight to the results are recorded in the table below. Yeah, okay. So number 1, 2, and okay. Please avoid this, yeah, a cutoff table. Yeah, please avoid. Okay. Right, you have this initial, final, that's fine. Okay. So these are all the data for female pulse rate before and after caffeine consumption. Okay. And these are the drinks. Okay. Fine. And this is for male. Right. Now, does this table here, table number 3, yeah, this table number 3, again, please rearrange this. Does this table number 3 relate to table number 1?
No, because uh, different genders have their own normal pulse rate. So female tends to have a higher pulse rate than men.
Okay, right. So again, let me reword my question. How do you get 16? Is it from 88 minus 72? If we go back again to table number, sorry.
I think I have separate. Yeah, that's from
table 1.
Yes.
Okay, so this relate to table number 1. Okay, I think because you have 88 minus 72, then you go to table number 3. This is table number 3, right? Because you put the label down here. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, now my suggestion, since table number 1 and 3, they are related, can you put another, can you squeeze in a column here somewhere for the difference between the final and initial? So
Okay.
one column there, so that you can avoid too many pages. Okay, if it is possible, yeah, then you can delete this table number 3. You combine it to table number 1. Yeah, and of course below table number 1, you can put this mean, mode, and median. All right, so far so good.
Yes.
Okay, you're not tired, are you?
No.
Right. Now let's go back to table number 3. So here you produce mean, median, and mode. Any reason for producing these 3 central of tendency?
It's just a matter of comparison, like.
A matter of comparison. Okay. Um, will you be using any of these 3 in the analysis?
I did for the box and whiskers, I think.
Okay, box and whisker below here. Is that correct?
Yes.
So the purpose of generating box and whisker is to find?
The comparison between the females and males.
Okay. And what
I mean between the drinks.
between the drinks? Okay. Okay. Box and whisker plot 1, the changes in pulse rate of female coffee drinker after consuming Milo. So okay, let me try to digest it. So if we refer to this particular table, make it bigger. Okay. So for Milo, you have several data. And what you did, you find the middle value or the central tendency, and you will use that central tendency as a representative point. Is that correct?
Yes.
So in this case, the median is 0. So that means, are you using median?
No.
No. Okay, because I will go to the graph, but I want to understand the table first. Now, just out of curiosity, are you confused just looking at your report?
Kind of.
Because I'm confused myself. So again, the problem with your report is the organization, and you really need to provide explanation as well what you are trying to do. Yeah, because it is difficult for the readers to follow. I'm not saying it is a bad IA, but you need to put more explanation and organize it better. Okay. Okay, let's take a look at this one first. Box and whisker plot 1. The changes in pulse rate for female coffee drinkers after drinking Milo. So this means table 1. Is that correct? So you get the data from this table 1. Okay. And then you look at the differences or changes that come from here.
Yes.
From 3. Okay. Then you put all of these into Excel or TI?
I did it manually.
Or you did it manually?
Yeah.
Including the diagram?
No, I used the website for.
So that means you're using website to generate this value?
No, I did manual.
Okay. Well, you might want to include the name of the website as well to help you generate this. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Right. So you input those values, the differences for female coffee drinkers after consuming Milo, and you come up with this 5-number summary. Okay. Okay. And out of those, or sorry, out of these number summary, which one that you are using for your graph?
Sorry, sir. Oh.
Out of these numbers, okay, which one that you use for the next step? You have median, minimum, maximum, Q1.
I didn't use it.
You didn't use it. Oh no. Here's the thing. If you don't use it, or if this does not support the development of your IA to achieve your goal, then I would advise that you do not include this.
Okay.
Unless you need this to prove your point for your exploration. That's fine. I'm not saying this is wrong, because okay, again, if you look at the data, let's take example of the median. And we need to refer to this table, I believe, because this is the difference, right? Different for female coffee drinkers. This is actually same value. Median is 0 for Milo. And that's just the same to this value. Is that correct?
Yes.
Now let's double check. I might be wrong, okay? Because you know this better than I do. Let's take a look at the green tea. Table 3. Green tea median 3.5. That's also 3.5. So meaning you are doing same thing twice. Okay, so that's redundant. Yeah, so you have to avoid that. Yeah, unless you want to compare the distribution, perhaps. Yeah, you want to compare, for example, this belong to female consuming green tea. And let's take a look at male. Male consuming green tea. This one here. Is that correct?
Yes.
So maybe what you want to do, put this side by side. So this box and whisker should go next to the female green tea, which is, sorry, this one here. So you put side by side, female, male, and then you comment on the distribution. Is it normally distributed, or is it left skewed or right skewed if you want to do it? Do you get it?
Yes. But then, sir, it still won't like connect to my graphing.
Sorry, can you repeat your question again?
Like it won't transition to my graphing. Like it won't help it.
It will not. That would be correct. If you want to include this, and you put after say you put side by side, you might want to include that in the more toward analysis part.
Okay.
So after you develop your mathematical processes that support your IA, mainly about mathematical modeling, then you analyze in the analysis, then you might want to pull out one of these, doesn't have to be all. You might want to include 2 or 3 perhaps, and then show the distribution later on between male and female. I mean, that's one possibility. Okay, right. Okay, are we good up to there?
Yes.
Okay, so here you have all of the tables. So if you combine the table, that should be, you should be able to reduce from 4 tables into 2, yeah? I think. Yep. So far you have 4, so you can reduce up to 2 tables. Yeah. Now, this one here, it is good that you include this comment about your sampling technique, comment about your data, which is totally fine. So these sampling techniques refer to both female and male data. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. I would suggest that you put this in a paragraph. Yeah. So please put it in the paragraph. Yeah. Just below the table. That's fine. Yeah. Like this, you put paragraph. So unlike point form, this is like a point form. Yeah, I understand that the example that I gave is like this, but what I want is actually you put as a paragraph. Okay, so these are, I mean, this is just me listing the items that you have to include in the paragraph. Yes, right. So please change this into paragraph. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Uh, this is a primary data. Is that correct? You collect directly by yourself, right?
Yes.
Okay. Um, any comment on the amount of data that you collect?
It's less than more than the other IAs I've seen.
I mean, sorry, less than the other. I understand, because this is primary data. Often it is difficult to gather more data. But this is a sample, right? And you are focusing on students, is it?
Yes.
Or general?
The JC, well, JC1, JC2 students.
JC2 in particular, is that correct? Yeah, that's what
Yes.
you put here. Okay. How many students in JC2?
40.
40. Okay. Survey monkey calculator. Okay. Number sample size. Oh my goodness, we have to pay now. Sorry, you used to be free. Okay. Free sample size. Calculate. Okay, let's just say you want to be 95% confident with your number, or with your amount of data. Yeah. Margin of error, let's assign 5%. We just follow the format. Population proportion, 50% if unsure. Okay, population size, you say 40, yeah? Okay, that's the number of JC. Oh, sample size is supposed to be 37%. Oh, that's high. Okay. What I'm trying to show you is the amount of data that's needed. Yeah, usually can be determined using confidence interval calculator like this, or sample size calculator. You want to be 95% confident with your data, and you say number of JC2 is 40. Yeah, so calculate. Sample size needed 1. Clear. Confidence interval. Oh, sorry, we don't know confidence. The sample size, you collect 6, yeah? Is that correct? 6? Let's go back.
Sir, there are 35 students.
35 students, okay. And your number of data is 6, is that right? This one, right? 6, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So population 35, you say. Percentage 50%. Confidence interval. Right. I usually use Survey Monkey. That is easier. Imagine what confidence level, what's the response? What is the, okay, leave it as Okay, try this. That's very high. 3180. Ooh. $60. Oh, that's even too low. Okay, do you see what I'm trying to do here?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the sample size in relation to the confidence level. If you use 6, 30, 25, 20. Oof. So that means your confidence level is 20%. Okay, that's okay. Now,
Sir, isn't it 6 females and then 6 males, so it's 12? Or
oh, sorry. So what should I put? 12, yeah? Okay, let's increase this. 40, 35, 30, close, 31%. It's okay, this may not be an accurate calculation, but you can comment later on in the conclusion, in the last part, about the reliability of your data. Yeah, that can be considered as future work. Do you get the idea?
so like the weaknesses and strengths.
That is correct. That's correct. So the weaknesses you may mention on the number of data that can be increases. Yeah, is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, I will close this. Then let's go back to your work here. If we cannot finish, we shall continue again next time. Yeah, sometime this week. Is that okay?
Yes.
Right. So that's about. Well, that's a lot of box and whisker. Okay. Right now, is this the subheading?
Yes.
Identifying the most appropriate model for the rise in pulse rate as the amount of caffeine consumption increases. Okay. I would suggest that you rework the title, yeah, because so far you have not generated a graph or an analysis tool that shows there is an increase in pulse rate. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
the step is usually you generate the scatter plot first, then you can comment whether it is increases or decreases. Okay, now let's close this. Now going back to this, I would suggest that you write something here, 2 or 3 sentences to inform the reader what you are trying to do. So let's not go straight to linear regression. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Here you put linear regression is the first data processing approach that may be used to model the rise. Right. Okay. Is there any particular reason for using linear regression?
Well, after knowing that the rate of the pulse rate increases when you consume more caffeine.
Okay, yes. So that's what you can put at the beginning. Yeah. Okay. Also, this also an example. Don't worry about the red lines at the moment, or the red curve at the moment. After a student, yeah, generate a scatter plot, yeah, then the next step is the student need to find a model or function that best fits the scatter plot. Okay. Now, therefore, the student need to put what are the consideration to select some particular models or function to be checked against the scatter plot. Okay. Here, for example, my consideration is selecting those function are a function is an increasing one. You did mention that, but you need to organize it. Yeah. Now, the function to be tested can also be nonlinear function. Yeah. Why? The student include, or the person include the red curve against the scatter plot. Yeah. So the scatter plot has possibly a curve pattern as well. Therefore, a nonlinear function can be considered. Okay. So based on that, the person select these four functions to be checked or tested against the scatter plot. How's that so far? Is that okay?
Yes.
Now, can you do similar thing like this?
Yes.
Okay. So the reason can be based on the shape or can be based on the nature of the variables as well. I mean, if the variable shows growth or decay, usually exponential or logarithmic function can be used. Yeah, because E or Euler's number E is very common in the growth, and log is usually common in the decay. Okay, right. So that's what you need to put before you go straight to the linear regression. Give some explanation on your give explanation on what you want to do. Generate the scatter plot of your data, yeah, and then write the function that you want to be included or to be tested against your scatter plot. Okay, I hope that's understandable. Now, next one. Do you use insert formula to write this?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay. And also this one?
No, no.
Okay. Make sure you write, you use insert formula in Word document for symbols or equation. Yeah. That will show IB that you use ICT as well. Okay. And you are being consistent with the mathematical notation and symbols. All right. TI inspired your CX calculator will be used to obtain the linear regression equation as well as R square value. Okay. Right. Please avoid cutoff table. Yeah. Okay. I don't think you need all of these. Yeah, because these are already. Hold on. Are these in the graph? Yes or no?
Yes.
If these are all in the graph, you don't need this. Yeah. Okay. Now this one. is it possible for you to write or generate this using proper notation?
Like what, sir?
For example, here, sorry, let me make it bigger. Here you use asterisk instead of times. So can you write this as 0.0885 x instead?
It was automatically generated, but I'll try to use Excel.
If it is automatically generated, it's fine, because if you look at one of the criterion, if it is, then that is an exception. Yeah, that's why I asked. Yeah, if it is automatically generated, that's fine. Okay.
Okay.
Changes in pulse rate. Now this belongs to male or female, or you combine both, or that's female. Yeah. Okay. So please fix this part. Okay, now this one for male. Okay. So this is also linear regression. Next is logarithmic. My comment is the same. Sorry, can you combine this perhaps? You want to do a plus b ln x, is that correct?
Yes.
So you might want to exclude that x.
Okay.
Exponential regression, but this is logarithmic regression. Can you double check on this? You put logarithmic, and this is exponential.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Please double check. Right. Okay, this is going to be the last page, the last page for today. Yeah. So here you generate, let's call it model for the log function. Okay. And here you mention R. Is okay, hold on. It's a bit noisy outside. Right, so is this correlation?
It means
Okay, what is R?
the like the negative or positive correlation.
That is a correlation, right? Now, so what are you going to do with this correlation? Do you plan to compare this correlation to the other correlation function generated here? Not function, value. So you plan to compare to this one and find which one is closer to one?
Yes.
Okay. Now let's take a look at our syllabus. Okay. If you look at the syllabus, right. Okay, this is linear correlation of bivariate data. Bivariate means x and y variable. Yeah? There are by two variables. And it's under 4.4. If you look at this, students should be aware that Pearson product moment correlation coefficient, or R, is only meaningful for linear relationship. Meaning, it is not meaningful in nonlinear, in this case, logarithmic relationship or regression. Okay. How's that so far? Understandable?
Yes.
So in other words, for you to check which function or which regression, if you put it, if you use that term regression, which regressions that models your scatter plot best, you cannot use R, yeah, because you have non-linear. I put one example over here on what to use. Your previous teacher perhaps already gave the link. Have you seen this video?
No.
Okay, then I will give you the link. Yeah. You can use what's so-called standard error of estimate. Okay. Of course, there are other tools that you can use. I remember some students use RMSE, root mean square of error, if you want. But the point is, if you use nonlinear and linear, and you want to compare them, then you cannot use R. Okay, I hope that's understandable. Now let's take the rest are just the same. Yeah, so please work on the format, give more explanation on what you're planning to do, and organize. Yeah, organize the content. Okay, just logarithmic for male. Okay, this is pretty much the mathematical processes. Yeah. Okay. Then what you can do, yeah, after this, you need to give comment which function best model your female and male, and you might want to include that box and whisker if you want. But the problem with your box and whisker, it represents all the drinks. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah, because there's green tea. Yep, sorry.
Nothing.
Okay. Whereas your generated model, it consists of all the drinks in one. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So to show the distribution can be challenging because all of these, they're separated. This belongs to instant coffee. This belongs to iced coffee. Yeah. So if you want to show the distribution of the male and female data using box and whisker, you need to somehow work out a way to combine them if you want. Okay. And then what you can do also is to improve your exploration is to include a conclusion. Okay. Please consider the items to be included in conclusion. Yep. I have shown this in this PowerPoint as well. Same thing. Yeah. Sorry. Personal engagement. So that reflection. Reflection. Okay. So you can see this slide in the managed back, yeah, for the reflection. But in short, you need to state whether your result, your IA result or exploration result meets your aim. You need to include the pluses and minuses of your result, including that number of data that we just discussed and how to improve. Yeah. Limitation of your exploration, yeah, possible work extension. Okay. This actually can go in the very last paragraph of your conclusion, possible work extension. Yeah. And please include any related subject to your exploration. See subject guide. So if you use regression, okay, take a look at this 4.4. This one here, can you see it?
Yes.
So you may want to consider this link to other subject, curve of best fit, correlation, causation, science group subjects, scatter, graph, geography. Okay, you might want to just touch base on this. Yeah. Okay. TOK, not a must. Yeah. If you want to include any relevant TOK, it's fine. If you don't want to, that's okay. Yeah. But usually the moderator will look for this. Yeah. If your work or exploration can be related to other subject,